My name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. Today I should like to speak to you about the second coming of Christ consciousness, a consciousness that you had at one time and you gave it up in return for the consciousness of the intellectual mind, the trainable, programmable mind of the intellect, of the satanically ruled intellect. I say satanic because it is dualistic, based on opposition, based on division. It leads to confusion, argument, debate, fights, wars on a collective basis, and the exploitation of all those whom you perceive to be other than you. You haven't an understanding of what consciousness is. For example, you have forsaken your subconscious mind, which is the mind of God, the non-dualistic part of your consciousness that is non-dualistic, which means it is at one. There's no opposition to it. Another way of putting that which is not opposed is saying it is truth. It is God itself. That's as simple as I can put it for you. You don't understand much in your life because you're confused, and just about everything you do, you live on beliefs. Beliefs that separate you from others who have different beliefs. And you're even at odds within yourself. You fight within yourself over your own confusion, and you look for a point of coming together and making up your mind and becoming non-dualistic, which is the natural aspect of non-dualism, of truth itself. You must make up your mind before you act. Unfortunately, most of you cannot do that. You think that you make up your mind, but in your confusion, you arrive at a confused conclusion, and you project that conclusion outwardly, and in that way, you create your own life. You create your life of confusion, of confoundment, of violence, of frustration, of all the emotions that which knock you off balance, and then you blame imaginary persons as being responsible for your imbalance. You have been drawn into hell. Hell is the illusory consciousness of duality. It's a satanic intellect that is trainable, conditionable, much like a computer, which rules over your body, which is material, expendable. You're born and you die. And you live in that illusory reality because, in fact, your body is nothing more than a space suit. It's not you. Your mind is not you. You are the spark of intelligence of God that lives forever, that is eternal, the eternal spark of intelligence. That's who you are. But you can't accept that because all you know is that you're trapped by your dualistic intellect, which is based in beliefs. Beliefs are nothing more than a lazy man's truth. Beliefs are graven images. They're false gods, satanic gods. The true God is only found in the subconscious mind, the mind of oneness, the mind of creation, the mind that knows no opposition because it's non-dualistic. You see, if you're living in dualism, you're living in a split mind, and that mind is called the intellect. That intellect is nurtured by Satan through the institutions of education, based in government, based in religions. These are all satanic institutions. Religion, yes. You seem to feel, or the philosophers, those who study the mind, the intellect, they're no different than those who are the most ignorant, who live within their minds. But they live a fantasy world, which the learned, the so-called learned, occupy positions of power over the ignorant, whom they rule over. But the ignorant, truly, are those who create the wealth, the illusion of the wealth that those who have power in hell seem to strip from them. You have the rich and the poor, you see. But all of them are living men, you see, that they have forsaken, you see. Living men create fictions by their thought. Governments are a fiction, a matter of thought. Religion, banking, the corporations, they're all fictions. They're all figments of the living man's imagination. So without the living man, none of these things would exist. Because the living man is the wealth producer, the creator of all wealth. And when you can make the living man doubt himself, when the fiction of government or religion can make a living man doubt himself and cause him to give his life energy in the banker's form of money, see, money has no function but that which you believe in it. You see, it has no power, but you believe in it, that it does. And so you give it to these institutions because they cannot exist without that power, without your power, your wealth. And you give it to them freely, voluntarily. You do so by contract. See, all these institutions cannot operate without contract, and all contracts are satanic. They create an illusory world, a circumstance which you bind yourself to them and you pay. You give them the consideration they're looking for in order to enslave you. Isn't that what you've done with your lives? You betcha. I'm here to tell you that you have been swindled. You have been lied to all of your lives, and you live in an illusion. And I'm here to bring you back to your senses and introduce you to yourselves who also have the divine, subconscious mind, the mind of non-duality, which is the mind of God. And from that mind you can create, truly create, because there's no opposition to what is, and the what is what truth is. Truth is not a matter of an idea. or a superstition. Truth is what is. That's what you create. If you're confused, you will create a confused world, and you are responsible for it, yet you will seek to blame others for it. That's what creates wars. You see this in the Zionists' propensity for blaming everyone for their attempt at world domination. They play a great part in government. They play a great part in the finances of the world. And they play with your mind in the religious aspect of the world. And you find that they hold power positions in corporations. All these things are satanic. Deal with them. Understand the truth of who and what they are and dissolve them. And once you do that, you will bring about truth in your life. And that truth will take the form of the second coming of Christ consciousness. I, this living Christ, promise this to you. But you must do it for yourself. I cannot do it for you. I shall not take care of you because that's what's being done right now by these institutions. They regard you as a ward of the state and the government, not capable of understanding your life, and therefore they must take care of you. Religions regard you as a sheeple, as a follower, and they, the shepherd, responsible for your care. There's your duality. There's the hell that you have volunteered your life into through your contracts, through your agreements. It's time for you to wake up and understand that you are responsible for the quality of your life. And I am the living Christ that is here to show it to you. Visit my websites, arkenterprises.com, lisarayenterprises.com, the many videos that I have on YouTube, on Vimeo, on BitChute, and on Real Video rather. Now, those who are in charge of disseminating information have kept the existence of this living Christ the best kept secret. They have declared that I am dead, that I died in 2000. I assure you, I did not die in 2003. I am very much alive. But they declare that I am an imposter, that the real Raymond Karchevsky died in 2003. That's how far they will go to deny the very existence of this living Christ, whom they have no power over, because I've taken them. They've arrested me, tried to put me away for 40 years on a high beam violation, when I put liens on the judges and the officers and the leaders of government and what have you, who were pushing for this prosecution, where they found the person whose name is spelled the same as mine, but in all capital letters, they found him guilty after 2 trials and some 22 hearings. When it came time to sentencing, I challenged their jurisdiction. They had not proven that they had jurisdiction over this living man, that the only jurisdiction they had was over the fictional man which they created through birth certification. So I refused to accept their sentence, and they released me. They showed they had no power over living men, But their power extends only to those who are fictions of their own creation. That's most of you. That's why your life is hell. It is time for you to wake up. That waking up process is called the second coming of Christ consciousness. And this living Christ, is the only one on the internet that is bringing it to you. That's a fact. That's the truth. What are you going to do with it?